guys, what's up? Retro Shinobi here, coming at you another video. In this video, I want to go over a couple of things that I picked up. It's not really a lot this week. It was a little slow. Might have a deal in the works for next week. Fingers crossed that it works out, but you know how those kind of things go. So I'm going to show off a couple of the things, and then I have some footage of me putting together my Game Boy Advance. So just, a couple minutes of video kind of showing the process of replacing a case to make a new Game Boy Advance SP. It honestly wasn't that bad, and, I'll show the process off in that video, probably with some over commentary. But, so I went to the Easy Pawn, and they had a bunch of PSP games. And the prices on PSP games weren't the worst, but they weren't the best either. The best deal that I did end up passing on was it was a copy of Mega Man X Maverick Hunter that they wanted I think like 18 bucks for. It goes for like 25, but there's just not a lot of margin there for me. It is a game that I would have kept, but it just wasn't that good of a deal, and it wasn't in the greatest of condition either. So anyways, the two games I did pick up, well, I don't know if you can really call them games, they go into a game system, is Zathura for the PSP Video for $2. I just got this because this is, I really like this movie, and I thought it would be cool to have just a couple of different UMD videos. I know some of them go for money, some of the horror ones go for a little bit more money. Things like that. It would be really nice to have a full horror set of UMD videos. And then the other one that I did look up and is actually not completely worthless is Appleseed for the UMD video for $2. They just put all of the UMD videos for $2. This one on eBay is trending around $25. So I'm gonna put that up right there with some sold comps. Really, it's a CG anime, could be interesting. I'm gonna watch it eventually, try it out now that I have my my PSP. So yeah, this week I only spent $4, nothing too crazy, but we are going to get into the footage of me building that building that Game Boy Advance SP, and then we are going to do the recap and then close out for the week. So, this is a little bit of a shorter video. Some of these videos are going to be shorter, a little bit less going on in them. That's just the way it's got to be. So, we're going to get right into that. Alright guys, so I've sped this up a little bit so that it's a little easier to watch and so that the video is a little less long. Here are the different screwdrivers that I got in. This is for Game Boy, Super Nintendo, pretty much anything Nintendo. I just got the tri-corner screws, and then, the other ones, the kind of socket ones for like Game Boy games and stuff like that. So this is the case that I'm going to replace this Pearl Game Boy with. I got this off of Amazon. I am not sponsored, of course, but I can put a link in the description once I, edit this video together and whatnot. But they did come with a video. There's a link to a video that shows how to put all this stuff together. So while it might look like it's a lot of parts and it's pretty intimidating, it's really not that bad. It was made a little bit more difficult because I had to break a couple of pieces on the pearlescent Game Boy because it was broken at the hinges. So, as long as your shell is not completely destroyed, it should be very easy and very straightforward. And even if it is, I was able to do it, and I have huge hands, and I'm not very skilled when it comes to operating technology in that kind of way. So that little pamphlet that I opened was what, the link is. So this is my AGS 101 Pearl Blue Game Boy Advance SP. As you can see, it's cracked in the corners, both of them, and it still plays. Everything on the inside works perfectly. It has no problems operating. It's just that it is kind of broken and I'm scared to play with it because I think it'll break. So this is my tools. I've disassembled it a little bit more at this point. It is, like I said, I had to break a couple of the pieces off, so yours won't look exactly like this if you decide to do this. There were several screws that were actually stuck inside the housing once I had to take it apart, so it made it a lot harder for me to get it apart. I kind of had to break it a little bit, but not too bad. And, you know, next is getting these little pieces off so that you can extract those screws. And I took them a little lightly. It said to be very careful with how you're holding this and how you are pulling these apart, because it is very easy to scratch these screens. Eventually, I am going to do a screen upgrade, so it's not the biggest worry, but I did end up putting a little scratch on the screen with my pliers on one of these. I'm not exactly sure. I'm sure, you know, someone will be able to watch it and figure out where I did that. I did end up bending my pliers trying to take this out. So these are in pretty securely, especially, you know, considering how old they are. It is pretty hard to get them out. But once you do, it's just taking the screws out and then, you know, pulling it out, getting the screen out, and then replacing it. All in all, this in total probably took me about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and that was with knowing absolutely nothing. I definitely think that I could do this in around 30 minutes now, as long as the shell wasn't broken. It's not a very difficult process. It's just something that you have to kind of, you know, watch the video for 10 seconds. Okay, I need to take this screw out and then put that screw over here, and then, you know. So as you can see here, I'm looking at the screen to look at the little bit of damage that I did, which is very unfortunate, but, you know, most of these are not in perfect condition anyways. Okay, guys, so inside of here is all of the leftover screws and all of the pieces. Some of this stuff is salvageable, so if one day I come across a powder blue, I could probably, if that has a worse case than this, I could put this part on. But a lot of the other pieces, in order to get out the rotators that are inside of here, I did have to use a bit of force, which did cause several of these parts to break into a few more pieces. This is still in pretty good shape, so if I find out without the battery pack, you know, or, you know, replacement buttons or things of that nature. But it is complete. It took me probably about an hour and a half, and that was with watching a video and having absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I could see this taking, you know, if I continue to do this, I could see this taking, you know, 5-10 minutes. So this is the Famicom version. I don't know if this was a limited edition that came out or not, but the buttons press nicely. These buttons work nicely as well. I still need to clean the screen up a bit. I will say one thing that I have noticed is that the start and select and the this one as well have a deeper well, so it makes it a little harder to press them. You need to press them with a little bit more intention. That could also be just because I have fat thumbs, I'm not sure. But it turns on, it functions perfectly, and it's in great shape. And I'm really happy with how this looks. And as you can see, hopefully, it actually looks really nice, and it also feels nice. It's got a matte finish, so it's not like your normal GBA, which has that glossy kind of finish. I couldn't say whether the other editions come that way or not, but this is the Extreme Rate PRG Revivtro. So if any of you are interested in picking one up, this is what this model looks like. On this game manual, they give you a link to go to where they have a video that shows how to do it. That's what I followed. It's like I said, it's less than a 20-minute video from start to finish, and that includes disassembly in their version. Obviously, I was starting and pausing, looking where to put screws. It does get a little complex because you've got a tri-corner screwdriver and then a regular Phillips screwdriver, and you have to kind of switch in between the both of them pretty consistently. I will say you are going to need to use a pair of pliers. These are absolutely necessary in order to take these off, unless you have some other kind of prying tool that can get under there and pull those off. It's probably going to be necessary. There's other points where you're taking buttons out or doing other things where it would be useful to have that as well. In my case, the biggest issue that I faced with this was some of the base plate screws were stuck into the base plate. Let's see here. Yeah, so this right here wouldn't come out. It was broken. Same with this one right here. They were both broke, and this one in the middle was broke, but it was attached to this one, which I was able to get off with enough force. I basically had to chip it away, but it was already kind of fragile. But all in all, fairly simple, painless. I will say you do want to be very careful when you are removing these. I did manage to scratch my screen up a little bit. I am going to revisit this and install a better screen. I know that this one is cleared for use of a better screen. I forget what that is. But you can do a screen upgrade, and it also came with an extra set of these buttons. So I'm going to eventually get a better screen, put that in, and then that'll be, perfect. And then, when I get another one, I can put this scratched SP101 screen in, and it'll be nice. So yeah, if you have any questions in the comments, let me know. This thing is a beauty. All right, guys, so this is the update for the week. We're looking at 6571 in the total collection. Not a lot increased, especially since Appleseed, for some reason, doesn't have anything on price charting. These are all some other stuff. There is absolutely nothing as far as the PSP thing goes, which is weird. I think it's just a classification error through GameEye, like on their part. But Zathura, looking at a solid $7 CIB. So that is all that we have this week. I want to thank you guys so much for watching through. If you did, I know this is a little bit of a lighter episode. not always going to be able to find a bunch of cool deals, sadly. That's kind of one of the big issues with doing one of these weekly series is that you don't really have enough time to let the deals pile up in most situations. But anyways, again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. This is Retro Shinobi signing out.